And this is how it works. The New York City Fire Department gets a 911 call. It comes into the 911 center directly behind you in the big building across the street. The caller gives all the information, the crucial information that the Fdny needs to come to help this person. The location of the crash. How many cars are involved? How many people are in the car? What do the people look like? Are they injured? Are they out walking around? Or are they trapped inside the car? All the accurate information you give that 911 dispatcher will bring the right appropriate equipment to the scene. Now you see the truck company, the 106, has a dolly there. And on that dolly is an enormous tool called the Jaws of Life. It's an hydraulic tool we use for train accidents, car accidents, and aviation accidents. It allows us to move a lot of energy, displace it, and gain entry into the car. Now the members in the truck are using hand tools they call irons. Those tools allow a purchase point so the other tools and hydraulic equipment can open the car up even more. But right now, you see the blocks of wood they're putting under the driver's side of the car. And those chocks provide stabilization. Remember, the person inside that car is injured. They need to get to the hospital quickly. And in this city, they'll do just that. The engine company has the handline stretched to add protection in case suppression or putting a fire out is needed. Don't forget, a car can explode after impact, or even later on during the process of extrication. One of the things the truck companies do too is stabilize the car and kill the power supply source, especially while it's occupied. As you look in the back seat, you'll see a firefighter in there from the company, and what he is doing is providing spinal mobilization to that lady inside the car. The driver is alert, talking to the rescuers, but is severely injured. If you look now to the outside of the circle, you'll see the EMS company right here in Brooklyn coming in, and they're wearing their protective clothing as well. PPE, personal protective clothing, is something the New York City Fire Department believes in tremendously. While operating at these conditions, we don't want the rescuers to get injured. Now, if you look, the only person talking and giving direction is the officer of the engine and the truck company. Everybody else has the responsibility and the assignment to perform. And in a flash of time, the door is open, now allowing total access to where the driver is. If you look in the front, there's a firefighter opening the hood of the car to gain access to the engine compartment, to disconnect the battery cable. That will bring down the potential of any electrical spark from inside the car. Now that access has been gained to the driver's compartment, the EMS company is standing there, which looks like they have a surfboard in their hand. No beach here, but what that is, it's called a spine board, a long board. And the company is about to put the person on that board in 1 or 2 movements. The spine has taken incredible impact at this accident scene. The potential for paralysis can be very real at these falls. That's why total patient care is given from the time the company enters the auto to the time the EMS company surrenders the victim to the nearest trauma center. Still, you'll see members of the companies there with hand tools. Hand tools still play a very important role in automobile extrication. The whole mindset has changed over the years with the development of hydraulic tools. It's come a long way, and the fire service has gained a lot of expediency in in the process because of those tools. The New York City Fire Department owns more jaws of life than any fire department in the world. All right, if you take a look over here now on the driver's side, you can see it's just about safe now for them to go in and extract the driver. The driver has a blanket over them inside the car. And there's two reasons that the officer made sure that happened. Number one, the cutting of the car and the glass sometimes breaks off, and those fragmentations can do damage to people. So we cover them up to protect them. They also are doing that to protect the body core temperature. Even if it's a daytime sunny like it is right here in the middle of the fall, people in shock need to be covered to protect the warmth. The EMS company now positions their stretcher with that longboard, and together along with the companies, they'll extract that person out in one piece. The firefighter in the rear seat still is maintaining what we call spinal immobilization. That will take place even after the cervical collar is put on. The New York City Fire Department CFRD, certified first responder companies throughout the city, handle these call types every day. As you watch this live demonstration here in Brooklyn, throughout the 5 boroughs, this is going on for real in the miles of endless highway in our city. Watch what happens. They lift and relocate her as a unit, all in the same step. That keeps the movement down to a minimum. Still with concerns for the skull, a whole manual mobilization and the collar is placed on. This part of the extrication is called the packaging process. That person has to be secured to that longboard to the max before they are transported to the awaiting Fdny ambulance. In New York City, we have the most trauma centers in any city in the United States of America. Our nearest trauma center from where you're sitting right now on this beautiful sunny day is a place called Kings County. By ground, they could be there in under 10 minutes. That's why it's so important to give the accurate information when you call 911. If there's 4 people in the car, additional fire resources would be dispatched, such as more ambulances, so everyone can be transported. Work like this in a hot summer day can be excruciating to the members of the truck, engine, and EMS companies because that protective gear they're wearing is hot. The work they're all doing right now in front of you is physical. You're burning energy. That's why the New York City Fire Department, when they eat healthy. They go from 0 to 60 in a sneeze in this city. From a sound sleep in bed to go out on a call like this, or being up and coming back from another call, which was just demanding. That's why all the personnel you see here, and you have seen throughout Fire Prevention Week, are people that are in top shape. Keep in mind, this is taking a little longer than usual because we're doing it in steps to demonstrate. But right now, you see the end results. From the efforts of the truck and the engine company, the person has been extracted from the auto. The EMS company now is on the way to their fire department ambulance and then eventually off to Kings County Trauma Center. The best of possible care is being given to that person. Let's have a nice round of applause for the companies that made this happen and literally could be doing it for real in a matter of moments. What we're going to do now that the person has been successfully extracted from the auto The truck company is going to take this car and turn it into an instant convertible with the use of the jaws of life and the cutting tools. Watch what they do to this car. They're going to turn it into a skateboard. Keep in mind now, the only person talking is the officer of the company. He is directing the other members on where cuts are to be made. What the outcome is going to be is going to be totally amazing to watch. Right now they're cutting off the hinges of the doors. Those hydraulic O-cutters have a lot of energy, not only on cars, but subway cars, aircrafts. Whatever the case may be that might impinge a person, this tool is the primary means of entry. Just like that, the next door has been removed from the car. I think you've all seen the importance of seatbelts. We talked about it earlier before the demonstration started. And even in the back seat of that car, if you're ever traveling with your parents, those seatbelts must be on at all times. You never know when the driver is going to find themselves in a situation that could prove to be deadly. Now they're starting to cut the passenger side of the car. Again, think how hot those firefighters are wearing all that protective gear. That's why hydration, too, in the New York City Fire Department is such a vital tool. In the education process at the Fire Academy, all members of the department learn to stay hydrated at all times. You never know when you're going to have to push your body to the max. Even though the O-ring cutter is doing all the physical work right now to operate those tools, strength, endurance, and again, hydration are key for a successful and expedient outcome. As you just saw, one of the things the firefighters used was a cutting tool in his pocket. Even though the cars are nuts and bolts, there's miles of wire inside these cars. And a little piece of stereo or power window wire can be a hindrance. That's why firefighters carry a lot of tools in their pockets. They never know what they're going to have to do inside a building, a car, a train, or a plane. Now they have all 4 doors off. Now it's time to take the roof off and turn this Saturn into an instant convertible. Sometimes this has to be performed while the occupants are in the car, because sometimes it's the only way to get the people out of the car. I think all you school guys are learning today that teamwork is a very big part of what you're seeing right here. Training never stops at the FDNY. You train from the day you're hired till the day you retire. That allows you to stay on top of your game. So when operating out in the streets, you're the best you can be. They're cutting what's called the A-post right now. That's where the windshield's attached from the roof to the dash area, the hood area of the car. These are strong parts of the car and have been reinforced over the years with design, protecting the occupants if the car was to roll over. Look at this, folks. 1, 2, 3. An instant convertible. Now you notice that? Give them a nice round of applause for doing that for you. You see how neat and clean they work? Every part of that car they cut off. They stack nice and neat in the back so it doesn't become a trip hazard or injure anybody else during the operation. Again, teamwork is what we learned today, and being fit, being hydrated, and being well trained. It makes all the difference to the people that live in your city. They're going to continue to cut a little more now, as you see around the fender area.
Okay, that's the gist of it.
Take a look now and see how that goes right through the sheet metal of the car.
Okay. They're just doing minor stuff down there now, so. That's Fdny Chiller 106 and Fdny Engine 226 here in Brooklyn.